Hello and welcome to computer class. My name is Dave and today we're talking about HTML links. So navigate to w3schools.com, click on their HTML tutorial, and then click on the links tab. Now, a link is actually short for the word hyperlink. And hyperlinks basically, you click a link to jump to another document. That's kind of the idea behind it. And when you move the mouse over the link arrow will turn into a little hand, and that's how you know it's a link. A link does not have to be text. A link can be an image or any other HTML element. So keep that in mind. You can make links out of lots of things. Um, so, but we signify a link by using the A tag, and the A tag actually stands for anchor. So it's an anchor tag, if that makes sense. So usually what you have is you have the A tag, and we've already talked about this before in a subsequent lesson. But the main attribute is the href, which stands for hyperreference, and then you insert your URL here, okay? And so that should be noted. All right, by default, links will appear as following in browsers. An unvisited link is underlined in blue, and a visited link is underlined in purple, and an active link is underlined in red. And so that's kind of an indication for you in color as to what's going on. There are some attributes associated with the link tag, and these are to be noted. Target is the attribute that is most noted. First, you have the href, which tells you the location of where the anchor tag is going, and then the target tells what happens when you actually click it. Does it appear in a new browser tab? Like what actually happens? And so target has values that you can add. You have, first of all, the self value, the underscore self value, which is default, opens the document in the same window or tab. The blank opens the document in a new window or tab. Underscore parent opens the document in the parent frame, and then underscore top opens the document in a full body window. So we need to copy these down actually into open up your spreadsheet here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the anchor tag. I scrolled up a little bit to where I talked about the anchor tag, and right click and insert right below it and drop in just some added information that's helpful to have. Um, Attributes for link tag. Okay, and this one, the main attribute is the target, and then the values are underneath as we just listed right here. So here's an example. When you click this, when I click this link, it is going to, according to them, the blank one opens the document a new window. So if I click this, there it does. It opens a new tab. So it's kind of helpful to know that. For instance, if someone's clicking on a link and opening a PDF on your website, more than likely you want the actual document that's opening up to not open in the browser tab you're in, but to open a new tab for the person so they could print it and then go back to the other tab if they wanted to. That's just good practice, if you will. Okay? Absolute URLs versus relative URLs. We've kind of already learned about what a relative URL is. An absolute URL is a full web address. It's basically like you are linking your website to another website. So you'd be putting in something like here, they put in as an example w3.org. They're actually making a clickable link to another website or to google.com, right? But a relative URL would actually be accessing a document within your directory structure. If you don't know about directory structures, go back and watch that lesson. But accessing perhaps another page within your website, or maybe it's some sort of uh, image or something that is clickable that's going to pop up, a document or something. You're accessing something within your directory structure. Okay, so again, if I click that, they show you the difference there. Here, this actually takes me to another website right there. And then if I run this again, this actually takes me to within the same site, if you will. Okay, that's the difference between absolute and relative URLs. One is for the actual site navigation, so to speak, and the other is for linking to outside sources. All right, links can be used, an image can be used as a link, that's what I should say. And the way that we do that is we actually wrap the image or sandwich it kind of in a container in an anchor tag. And so what you would do is you would have your image in your directory structure somewhere. And then here, I'll put this on a new line so you can actually see it here. There we go. This is created a container here, and inside is an image tag, and there's their GIF that they're loading up with a style and height. And now if I click this, it loads a website. A lot of times we'll make not only our buttons but also our pictures clickable in case the person doesn't click the button, they accidentally click around it. It's helpful that it actually still goes to the website that they're trying to click on. Okay, so that's how you would do that. The next one is a link to an email address, and this is pretty important, so I'll actually copy this down and add it to my spreadsheet. Pretty much every website on the planet uses email, and so it's really practical to put this in here. I'm going to right click and insert a row above and drop it underneath of that, and this is the the mail to value. Pretty important. You pretty much have to put that on every single website, the mail to value. All right, a button as a link, which is again another very significant thing that happens on a website. And notice buttons have attributes like on click, for instance. So this is something we can add to our spreadsheet as well. Button has an on click of a location. Actually, let's just open that up and look at it. And here we have some code. The document dot location is pointing to this file right here. So the moment I click that, it opens up that entire web page. So that's kind of helpful to know. We haven't talked about buttons yet, but they are a really big thing in HTML. And a lot of times what people will do is they will actually not use a link, but they'll use a button instead. Okay, so I'm going to add that to my spreadsheet. You can use a button or a link. They're very similar in nature, but they're a little bit different. Button tag. All right. Moving on, you can do a lot of things when it comes to styling your links, if you will. I'm not really going to get into this because this is more of a CSS lesson, so to speak. But you can, if you use CSS correctly, you can use the CSS selectors and you can do a colon, and then you can do a hover feature so that when you hover over your button, see it changes colors, and then you can just use the subsequent CSS styles to actually create something that looks like this. This is a button, obviously. When I click to try it myself, here it is, href, the target is blank. But when you click over this or hover over this link, it changes color. When you click it, it does different things. So that's kind of cool to be able to do. And there's so much, again, so much styling that can be done to buttons, that can be done to tags. You can use you can use links as bookmarks, basically to slide down to spots on pages. I've seen websites where in the showcase section, which is usually the picture or the thing at the top, you can click a button. It's like click here, and you click, and it just slides down to another section of the website. And they do that by using an ID, and part of that is that has to do with links. So you'd want to be able to slide down to that section to see it. You can change out. You can put an href in there, and so really read over this section. If you want to do it, that's kind of a specialty thing you can do with a link. For right now, we're just going with the basics. So let's actually create a link. So file new, I'm opening up brackets, file save as, and I'm going to do this on my desktop, index.html. We don't really need a directory structure because we are doing a simple website. So I'm going to go to the first page, grab my template code, drop it in, do some tabbing, so making sure everything is treed correctly, so it's organized. And then we're going to start with an anchor tag, href, and for right now, a way to actually make it clickable but not actually put anything in there is just to put the hash symbol, okay? So this is a link. Click here, right? And you can put anything there you want to, all right? Now, we said earlier that we can do a target, and in the target we could do, and I keep forgetting my equal signs for some reason. Notice 4 elements come up. And I believe it was the blank one that goes to a different page. I could be wrong. But anyway, actually, let's just grab Google. Let's grab this website right here that we're currently on for links. There we go. Grab that entire site. See if we can link to that. We'll put that in the hash symbol. All right, so we're linking to an external site. Control S saves. And when we boot that code up, there it is. Click here. Where does it go? To that specific site. And notice it even opened it. I don't know if you saw it quick enough. When I clicked, it opens it in a new tab right next door. So that's pretty cool. One of the other things that we did with links is we talked about the colors. So let's actually just grab. That's pretty nonchalant there. Let's do a button. There we go. It's pretty cool looking. Let's grab this entire code and throw that into our website. See how it looks. And just manipulate it just a little bit. All right, so there we have a default button. I think we need to change this to go to an actual site. So let's do that. Let's change the href to go there. Control S. Now we have it hovering at red. Let's do blue, just for the sake of seeing it. And we have the default color for the text. That'll be fine. What is this one? Red. Okay, that's a different shade of red. We'll do green. And I have a hash symbol there. That's not useful. Okay. Press save. Load up the code. And there we go. It's green, hover, blue. See? You could just change it out real fast. That's a simple link. Okay. And again, we could easily change this out for a picture if we wanted to. All that it would require is putting the image tag in between right here. Okay, so I just have to, I'm not sure why that's doing that. There we go. All I'd have to do is write img and src for the source. And we could choose, there have to be something in there. I don't really have a directory structure, so it's not really going to work. My alt would be something equals just a description of the image, whatever it is, width equals 200 pixels or whatever you want to use. You could use any measurement ability, and then height 200 pixels, right? And this image right here would become clickable, okay? Of course, if I load that right now, I don't really have an image in there, but the image is clickable nonetheless. That's there, the default. So you can kind of see how that works in code. All right. So again, there's so many uses for links. Links are probably I would say images, links, and text. I mean, they make up the majority of a website. So if you start to understand how links work, it's very important to writing your code. Hopefully you have given this video a thumbs up and you're subscribed to the channel to learn more awesome content. And I will see you in the next video.